This weekend, you can find hundreds of home design and improvement tips and trends at the PA Home and Garden Show.
It's taking place through Sunday at the Farm Show Complex, and that is where we find our Bobby Laurie this morning. And you say these tiny houses are really a big deal, Bobby.
That's right, Allie. They are. Right now, I'm standing inside of a tiny home that's inside of this year's Pennsylvania Home and Garden Show. It was built by QnC Construction. Joining me now, Ben. Ben, tell me a little bit about this home.
Yeah, so we wanted to do a booth, but we wanted to do something that was going to showcase some of the craftsmanship that we do. So we just kind of threw some pieces together, miniature kitchen, some shower panels, some decorative trim, V-groove board, things like that. To basically showcase what our craftsmen are capable of doing.
Now, the only thing that this tiny home is actually missing is a place to sleep. Otherwise, we could legitimately live in here and not have to leave here for any reason whatsoever.
Yeah, it is very tiny. Yes.
So, what else? Oops, there we go. So, when it comes to building a tiny home, just out of curiosity, do you find it harder or easier to build a tiny home versus a regular-sized home?
Well, a tiny home, obviously, everything is condensed, so you want to utilize as much space as you possibly can. Whereas a more conventional home, there's a lot more room to spread out, and things don't have to be quite as functional. I mean, you still want it to be functional, but you're trying to cram everything in a tiny little space. That's always a challenge. We don't build a lot of tiny homes. We build a lot of bigger custom homes. So we don't have a ton of experience in that, but we enjoy tinkering and doing things that are unusual.
It's also got to be a little unusual trying to find some really tiny appliances to put in a home like this as well. Thanks for that info, Ben. I'm going to head outside right now onto the porch, and that's where we're going to find Kevin O'Connor. Now, Kevin, can you talk a little bit about the tiny home trend? Because it seems to be quite popular nowadays.
It is definitely a trend, and it is definitely something that has caught on, whether it's the tiny home or the container house.
Yeah.
There's something about them that just seem to be obtainable to people, whether it's a he shed or a she shed. People sort of, I don't know what it is, they sort of fantasize about having their own tiny little space. It's cozy, it's attainable.
They're also really cool to just look at. I mean, when you look at the size of them and you realize, wait a minute, I could actually live in there. I really don't need that much space.
If you've ever been on a well-appointed boat, you appreciate the challenge of very small spaces with lots of details and everything compacted, but also functional.
Well, like I was just saying to Ben, too, I think it's also going to be a little difficult trying to find small-sized appliances to fit into a kitchen of that size, because, a normal-sized oven would take up, 3/4 of that kitchen.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. They've got something for everything. And like I said, with boats and everything, it is out there, and because this movement is a real thing, they have come up with very clever solutions for all of this stuff.
All right. Well, thank you for your insight today. You're speaking later today at the show. It's 6 o'clock, I think, right?
6 o'clock.
So keep that in mind. And you'll also be here tomorrow. Well, for right now, live in Harrisburg, Bobby Laurie, ABC 27 News.